Hey y'all, welcome back to Loving Them Gates, a Beyond the Gates weekly podcast where Brian H. Waters and Queen PR dissects the latest episodes of the new hit show Beyond the Gates. We'll break down all the plot twists, character arcs, and iconic moments with our unique perspectives and a whole lot of love.
Welcome back to Loving Them Gates. I'm Queen PR.
Brian H. Waters here.
We are getting into one of the most covered relationships on the show. I was going to say polarizing, but we are taking a deep dive into Ashley and Derek's relationship because at the time of this recording, we are left on a cliffhanger of Ashley getting down on one knee and proposing marriage to Derek, who is currently laying up in a hotel room, paralyzed from the waist down after a terrible accident, and a lot of messy drama has gone down between them. So I have been wanting to talk about this relationship for a while, and I think now is the perfect time. Why is now the perfect time to talk about Ashley and Derek's relationship?
I think because, one, that cliffhanger, the way it made you feel, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about just like relationships and everything, or just the show in general, you wanted to make you feel a certain way, whether it's good, bad, extreme, what have you. And it made you feel a certain type of way. And when you felt that way, I could feel it. It was contagious. But I think that, it's been a lot. We've seen them together, very happy. Then we've seen them move together. And then we've seen them angry with each other. Then we see them go their separate ways, date other people. So I think now is the perfect time. We did cover it on the last episode that people, if you haven't checked out, make sure you check out episode 4 of the Loving Them Gates pod, with the recap. But now we'll take a deeper dive.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see as we reflect back on one of the most covered relationships. That's the best way to put it.
Yes, it is the best way to put it. So let's start with the very beginning, how we are introduced to Ashley Morgan and Derek Baldwin. So we meet them as the couple friends to Naomi and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Very realistic friendship, in my opinion. I did like seeing that dynamic of, they're in the same kind of generation, same age group. They're both starting out and getting into their professional careers. If you think about it, they're all in kind of careers of service. You got a lawyer, you got a detective, and then Derek being a firefighter and Ashley being a nurse. Now, Ashley being a nurse is very much a part of who she is as a character. That first week of episodes, she's starting her job as a nurse, her very first day as a nurse at Garland Memorial Hospital. And Derek is a firefighter. He grew up near a firehouse. He's always admired what they did. And his dream growing up was to be a firefighter. And yes, I did my research on these characters. And that is the backstory.
It's just funny thinking little Derek sitting there like, ooh, I want to be a firefighter.
I want to see that. I want to run into burning buildings and save cats. That's what he did. He risked his life to save a cat. So this is how we meet Ashley and Derek. Do you remember your first impression of them? For me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, okay, so there are gonna be white people on this show. Like, okay.
It's so funny because that was my exact reaction. We didn't even plan this then. We might have said it in February when we watched the show together, but it was like, okay, let's see what they got. Okay. I thought that was very interesting. And I thought I was like, okay, cool, couple friends, right? Because when you have a dynamic, a professional couple, right? Two professionals in highly respected positions, as far as Naomi and Jacob being a lawyer and a detective, respectively. So of course they need an outlet, right?
They
And they
do.
need, married people hang with married people, single people
Yeah.
hang with single people. So it made a lot of sense.
It did. So you see the friendship, very close friendship between Ashley and Naomi, very close friendship between Jacob and Derek, which we'll see also play out in the course of their characters. So they're a loving couple. I saw them as a very, loving couple. I didn't really think too much into it. I was like, okay, their relationship makes perfect sense. They're super cute. He visits her at the hospital. They might run into each other because him being kind of an emergency person, and her working in the hospital, so it made a lot of sense to me. I was like, okay, this is a cute relationship to watch within the show, within the other dynamics. I didn't know that they would be as featured. Like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I didn't realize they would also be like main characters. They get a lot of TV.
Yeah, they do. I guess I never really. I just figured, they wasn't opening credits, so I said, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, same. So I think the turning point for their relationship is when Ashley and Andre get stuck in the elevator and with a pregnant woman who goes into labor, and they deliver this baby together. Andre and Ashley start to get really close.
Hmm.
Andre was there, I think, to visit like his uncle or something at the hospital at first, or he was doing some photography stuff, so he had to be at the hospital. So him and Ashley get really close after this experience. It's
Hmm.
like all they talk about for weeks and weeks and weeks. There's a lot of moments where you're like, do they like each other? What's going on here? And then I think even Derek starts to see it a little bit. So I think that's the first time where we're like, okay, there's going to be more to Ashley and Derek in the show.
Yeah, that was something. Like, I know we got tired of hearing about it. They talk more about delivering that baby, and for some reason, you could start to see we're very vocal about Andre
Mm-hmm.
being that type of guy. You start to see it immediately. Like,
Yeah.
man, man, what
Why are you
connection?
always also at this hospital?
Right.
Like, you are like this world renowned photographer, and somehow you always find a way to be in Ashley's face. Then they want to do a documentary, they want to cover, it's just like,
It
it's a
was the
lot.
documentary on the hospital. Or was it Doug?
I think, I don't remember exactly what the project was.
Yeah, it was definitely a documentary. You're right about that. I just
And
couldn't
I
remember the
thought, yeah, it
subject.
might have been about Doug, and then someone's idea was to like incorporate the nurses, and
Mm.
then he had to be there a lot, and then it was like awkward because I think we all caught on to them, Ashley and Andre having feelings for each other before they even caught on to it.
Yeah, because you
In
said
my
they're gonna keep
opinion,
reminding us.
like, okay, and that is something that you share with someone that is, it is a bond. Like, it's gonna bond. It's a bonding experience. It's a very magical experience at the same time as well. And this is, I think, was like her first day. So it
Yeah.
was like this big thing in the hospital. I have to bring up Shanice, her boss, her mentor, the nurse of
Mm.
nurses,
She need to be
supposedly
featured
in
more.
the
I'm just
show.
saying.
Yeah, I think she should definitely be featured more, and we'll get into how she's featured later on in Ashley and Derek's relationship saga, is what I'm going to call it, because it had a lot of turning points. So we talked about this minor turning point, which is Ashley's connection and friendship with Andre growing. Um, then we have them moving in together, and I think that is when everything just falls apart in that instance. Derek's lease is up. He's like, rooming with a whole bunch of dudes. He's real dude, like
Yeah.
Derek. Like, he's very much a guy's guy. He's living with all these dudes. They don't all want to, whatever the situation is with their lease. Derek's like, I'm gonna move in with you, and it's a very rushed decision. And I peeped from Jump Street. I was like, this is not going to work at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I think the timing was all wrong. When you take that step in a relationship, it takes a lot of work. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of communication. It takes, a lot of like hard conversations, a lot of hard truths, and you don't make this decision so rash like that where it's like, oh my god, okay, kind of in a desperate situation without having lived with each other. And then it's a freaking studio apartment. Okay, like you have a type A personality who is very particular about every single aspect of their life. They have lived in their own space, a studio, mind you, all this time. And here you come in with all this stuff, and it is rocky to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, she's a nurse. I know a lot of nurses who are type A personalities because they need their sanctuary to be
Mm-hmm.
spot on perfect because of the hell they deal with on a day-to-day basis. Between checking people's vitals, between may have to deliver bad news, all this stuff that happens, right? So when they come home, it's like, I need, and then here he comes in, and he wants to, put deer heads up, and I'm like, man, you moved in her space. Y'all didn't go in there together, and that's what, like you said, I was like, oh yeah. This ain't gonna work. I think it was the first thing he did. I think when he started changing furniture around, that's when I knew.
Yes. Oh my
And I'm
god.
like, this is not something simple. You're wrong, buddy. You're wrong.
Yeah, like this ain't it. This ain't the right way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like at all. I think also the fact that she wasn't completely honest with the fact that she wasn't ready for that. And because and this is what happens too sometimes, which sucks
Mm-hmm.
about like relationships, because I said it when we had previous conversations that Ashley and Derek's relationship was perfectly fine before they tried to move in together. I think they were like moving at a good pace, him spending a night every now and again, her spending a night at his place every now and again, like was the speed that they should have went for a few months more, or even like a couple years maybe, even before they
Yeah.
like took that leap to move in with each other. um and with them moving in together, because they wanted to keep the peace so much because of their jobs also, like that came up in one of their arguments too, where she, like you mentioned, she's a nurse, he's a firefighter. They don't want to spend a little bit of free time and peace in their home arguing, nitpicking at each other, nagging at each other. So there was a lot that they didn't say in that space together because they just wanted to keep the peace. And then it would blow up. And then he would try to
Mm-hmm.
do something to like make her feel better about him being there, and it would just like fuck up royally. Like, and it was almost like, oh, it was like he couldn't win for losing anything that Derek tried to do. I feel like just like I felt so bad. And then like with Ashley, like she feels bad because he's trying, but it's still like, I don't want you in my space, but she doesn't know how to say that. So it was just a nightmare, like almost from like very beginning.
Yeah, he was walking on eggshells.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't want that either.
No, and that's why I felt bad for them too, because I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, he's not wrong. He's wrong for going in there and moving stuff that without her permission, like at the end of the day,
Hmm.
that's her space. But he's not wrong for wanting to be at home,
Right.
and that's like we said, like they moved too soon. Maybe they should have said, you know what? Let Derek, you stay somewhere else. And then when
Hmm.
my lease is up, we'll see
We'll
where our
figure
relationship
something
is.
out.
We'll go somewhere together.
Right. Or even just having spent more nights together, just figuring out how to cohabit, because spending a night after a date or something, or them going to work from her place the next morning is not the same as like living together. So
Mm-hmm.
they needed to spend more time living together before they made that leap, because I think that torpedoed their relationship, because there were no real issues in their relationship. Was Ashley getting a little too close to Andre at one point? Yes. But she was still very much loyal to Derek.
Yeah. Oh,
So
1,000%.
yeah. So I just don't think she would have even gotten as far with with Andre as she did if there wasn't the tension in her and Derek's relationship. So then there's a point in time where Andre tries to kiss Ashley. He finally crosses that boundary and she's like, whoa, what's going on? And she is at first very much like, what are you doing? Like, I love Derek. But then you see her, having dreams about Andre
Mm-hmm.
and, these little things are happening. Even her mom at one point is like, are you sure there's nothing there? And she's like, no, we're just friends. And even Shanice sees a little bit that's going on here. Derek kind of sees a little bit, but he doesn't want to be, think the worst or be like the jealous boyfriend. But even he has to finally kind of like speak up on it as well. Like, is something there? And things really go south at this point. They get into a big argument, Ashley and Derek, and she leaves. And he
Yeah.
packs up. He thinks that he's going to kind of like force her hand a little bit. And he packs up his stuff and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was so silly on your part. Like, you're playing with fire right now. Like, I don't think this is going to go the way you think it's going to go, bro.
Yeah, because all he was going to do also is remind her, like, ah,
Yeah.
yes, this is what it's
Finally,
like.
he's gone.
Actually, I know when I'm being a lot. I know when I'm doing this. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Because I even think they even talked about how they didn't make love for like months, maybe
Yeah, because it
weeks.
started to get like a lot of tension there, and
Mm-hmm.
now you guys are just kind of waiting for each other to be away. Or I think it was one where she admitted that she was happy to go to work and because she
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be home with him, and I was like, oh my god, like that. It sounds like such a horrible situation to be in.
Yep.
Um, Altogether, but they do end up kind of breaking up for good. So I have to say, so you're obviously a guy, you have guy friends, you talk to them about your relationship issues. How do you feel about some of the advice that Jacob has given Derek over the Ashley relationship? Because he is very opinionated. He is very much ready to, tell Derek what he needs to do to get Ashley back. But do you think he gives good advice? Do you think he's allowing Derek to move the right way in these situations?
No, because he should have stopped him from in the jump. You know what I mean? But I think what happens is, I think Jacob's been married to and been with Naomi for so long, he forgot how to give good advice. Yeah, he
Mm,
that doesn't realize, like, bro, everything ain't the same. Like,
right.
it's different out here. The streets is different. I wouldn't even be able to give some of these young kids advice because things different. So that's what I think. I don't think Jacob. What does he do right? Love
It's
Naomi. That's what he does right.
yeah, he does love Naomi, right? Yep. Yeah, I
Goodness gracious,
think.
if that dude ever cheat.
I mean, he needs some edge to him, but I don't want that for Naomi.
Right.
I don't want
They
that
gotta
for
be the one.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I think they should be
Flawless
the one.
couple.
Um, I think. I do want Naomi and Jacob to be the couple that kind of lasts, like the one solid couple of the whole show. But I
Mm-hmm.
honestly think that could have been Ashley and Derek. But yeah, I think Jacob wasn't giving him a lot of like good cues either. And also Derek is very stubborn. Like there were times I feel like Andre also gave him good advice and Derek kind of just like went the opposite way, you know?
That's where it got weird too, because
Yeah.
he was trying to befriend Andre without befriending him. And it
Mm-hmm.
was that things that
Who?
dudes do that I
Derek
hate.
was?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did the thing I hate when he goes, it's like, I want to keep you closer. So I'm gonna like invite you over, keep you close to me. So I
Yeah, that
keep
was
keep an
so
eye on you.
awkward.
Yeah. And then that like kind of opens up the door of like, well, you disrespected me when you tried to sleep with her. Like, I was never your friend, buddy.
Mm,
I was her friend. So that's the thing. It always just I was like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you inviting him over for beer?
yeah, that
Talk about,
was
oh yeah, he gonna bring somebody. No.
and I think And we all knew he wasn't bringing anybody. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
did not want Ashley to think that, he was very strategic with his friendship with Ashley. And it was so awkward when he came over for dinner. And it was so obvious that there was more to their
Do
friendship.
you
And as
think,
soon
what is it about her that's got these guys going crazy? Dude, and what is it about? I get the bond of, okay, boom, we delivered a baby. First of all, that seems more traumatic than anything.
mm,
If you're not, if in for Andre's sake, like if you're Ashley's sake, she's a nurse, but Andre's like, oh my gosh, I just delivered a baby, right?
right.
But okay, what is so good about Ashley? Like, did she smell nice?
I
That it was just so breathtaking, and it just brought this connection, just sucked you right on in.
I've been asking myself that question since the very beginning
Nice person.
because of who Andre is characterized to be, and Derek, who, as corny as he is a good catch, and I think that's why Ashley keeps going back to him, because he is a safe option. Like,
He's a
he
safety net.
he is a safety net. He is loyal. He's kind. He means well. He wants to get married. He wants to settle down. He is on paper the perfect guy. But I don't know, like, Ashley just seems dry to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, all of the beautiful Black women on that show, and it's not even like, oh, because she's white, she's dry. It's not even that. It's just in
Because Vanessa's
general,
not.
Vanessa, you know how I feel about Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
That she's 5 star, 5 star. But yeah, Ashley just seems very dry to me. She also feels like she doesn't know what she wants. And for Derek and Andre's sake, girl, figure out yourself. Like, focus on your nursing career and, like, leave these guys alone, because you are going back and forth a lot. Like, even okay, so at this point in their timeline, they're living apart, and Derek decides that the remedy to all of this is to propose, which to me was like, what part of this situation? Her telling you that she feels suffocated, y'all move too fast, she needs to figure out herself, she needs to do all of these things. What part of that says it's time for us to get married? Y'all couldn't even live together in this studio apartment
Right.
for, I don't even know how long they even was, maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all couldn't even do that, and you think the next move in your relationship is to propose marriage? Like, if there was anything to scare this girl away, even if she felt like Derek was her soulmate, for me the turnoff is your thought process right now, where you think that us getting married in this moment is the answer.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I just didn't understand. I'm like, because again, now he's feeling the pressure. He's seeing Andre come along. Oh, if I put
Mhm.
a ring on it, because he knows she's not going to cheat on him. But it's like, if I put a ring on it, that means I got her.
Right.
Nobody else can have her.
Marriage proposal is not a band-aid that you just put on a relationship and all of a
Boom.
sudden everything's gonna be better.
Boom. If people only realize that.
And it was just really silly, it was really dumb. And the whole Andre of it all, like Andre going to see her after, like, it was just all of it, just like I feel like the proposal just let out this can of worms, and that was like
Mm.
the final straw of, like, okay, yeah, y'all relationship is never gonna be the same, and you just pushed Ashley into Andre's arms. So now they're, like, officially broken up. They've accepted it. Well, we think they accepted it. Derek is being really pathetic and needy, and she finally has to just be like, we are done. And then he starts to hang out with Shanice,
Yeah, that was crazy.
Ashley's boss. I want to put out there, Ashley's mentor at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
is now chatting with him. Her and Andre decide that they do have feelings for each other, that they're going to attempt to go on a date. Ashley thinks that taking Andre to the place where Derek proposed to her.
Yeah.
Because apparently there's no other bars in this town that they could go to
Right.
on a date. Only to walk in to see Shanice and Derek on a date. Like, boom, mind blown, bomb dropped. Do you remember your reaction when you first seen that shit?
I was like, yeah, sheesh, I hope he hit. I'm like, Shanice going. Oh, I kept thinking Shanice gonna turn that little boy out.
Mm-hmm. He
You
gonna be
know,
like, Ashley, who?
right? You know, and because I saw all this happening, and I was like, wow, he really trying to make her jealous, and the whole time because with him it was the reason is also because it's like I know he gonna be next. I know we gonna break up and it's gonna be him. And then it was. So it's like, well, what's the best thing he could do? Well, Shanice, let's go out on a date. Let's hang out. And Shanice, she was already came in. Our introduction of Shanice was her doing one of these, like listening to what was going on and
knowing the tea.
Knowing all the tea. So that right there let us know she was gonna be with the shits.
Yep.
So
he was messy with that. I was really like, and all for both of them, like Derek, really, like all the older women you could date, you go to her, to someone, Ashley's boss, basically at her workplace, and then Shanice, like, you really, like,
but
come on.
Let's look at the options here. Well, I mean, it's not many, right? But in all fairness, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, look at Shanice.
Yeah, she a baddie.
Like, he saw her. He was like, well, you know, and he also look, white guys, they be wanting to know what's that chocolate like.
So she's beautiful. She's funny. She has a fun personality. She's also a nurse.
Exactly.
So there's that. I just think, like, if I had a coworker or like a protege at work and I see her boyfriend coming in all the time to see her, like Derek used to see Ashley, like, I would not feel the need to like date him. They were broken up for like 2 seconds.
Literally.
And y'all already on dates with other people. And like with Andre is different because it was like clear, like y'all been friends, y'all clearly, you know, had attraction for each other. But Shanice was just like, it just felt like over the top.
She was gonna prove like, hey, like, I said this about, you know, Kat and Evil in the last episode. Same thing. It's like, let me just show you. I can have him if I want to.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. But then it comes out later on that they were hanging out, half wanting to make Ashley jealous, half wanting to see where it would go, kind of vibe. So that was already like,
when she said it, she's like, what do you want to do? That right there. Come on, man. Close the deal. Just get
I really wish he would have hit at least one time because I don't think everything that would have happened after all of this like would have happened.
No, because he wouldn't have wanted Ashley, and Ashley would have been knocking at his doorstep because Andre was still playing with Danny.
Yeah. So we see a lot of messiness with that, but even Andre at this point is going through a lot with Danny, where it's like choices are having to be made, like who on everyone's part. What are we doing here? You know, kind of situation. So Ashley and Andre do go on a date. Danny interrupts, and I thought that's when Ashley clocked them because Danny was acting like a jealous girlfriend in this, or a jealous girl in Andre's life at this point. But then it's like these naive fucking Fairmont Crest people, because she didn't even touch it at that point until like then put it together. Like, oh, okay, now that's why she was acting like that on our date. And then he takes Ashley to Paris. And if you listen to Loving Them Gates, you already know how I feel about that situation. But she is eating it. Ashley's eating this shit up. He is whining and dining her, having her try all these French foods and remembering all these things about her and like framing a photograph that she loves and like really like love bombing her if you really think about it. And she's loving this. Like she's just like, oh my God.
A little high school kid.
Yes. And I was like, girl, your standards are low. Because like I've mentioned before, if an actual rich man wants to like impress me or romance me, like I'm gonna need you to do more than this. Because essentially, you took me back to your place and cooked for me, and was hoping to get some. Which honestly, and I also talk about this, I think that was the night that she should have slept with Andre, because the passion was there, the moment was there. Clearly, he got them drawers wet with the fake Paris. Like that was the moment.
And it was, you know, it was definitely the moment. He had her, and the fact is, like, that's why she pulled away, and she second guesses herself way too much.
Mhm.
And she'll say like, Andre lets me be free, and he's so fun. And as soon as she like lets her hair out, she puts it back up in a bun.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and it's like, come on now. You again, she don't know who she want to be, and
Right.
that's what makes it like. And but it's also like she's so flighty sometimes, because how could you not tell Danny was the person Andre was talking about? Like,
Come on, sis. Like it
yeah, it
was
was like
it was so obvious.
so obvious.
And that's what also shows like how um naive like they
Mm-hmm.
all seem when it comes to like dating and stuff like that, because things that we see like is like almost like they don't see it until it's like too late. And so I have a question for you, because after this whole night, her seeing Derek with Shanice and all of that, she has a conversation with her mom about Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom basically warns her against guys like him and says like he's gonna play you, he's a player, you're not basically ready for, the whirlwind, dating someone like Andre is. And like as someone who's had similar adventures, let's say, like that, like it's true. Like you really have to be able to hold your own in like a fuckboy situation like Andre, and like really use a guy like him for what you're supposed to use them for. And I know this sounds crazy, but I'm being like real right now, like from a women's perspective. And the fact that you folded so easy seeing him with Danny, like, do you think that conversation with her mom, if that conversation doesn't happen, do you see Ashley having went there with Andre and tried and put her, go into the fire and see what it's like?
1,000%.
Mm,
Absolutely, because I mean, she respects her mom. You know, it's the
yeah.
typical, it's a good mom, good daughter relationship. So
Hmm.
I love that she respects her mother, but I do think that if her mother wouldn't have warned her, she wouldn't have thought twice. She'd have went right there. She'd have had her feelings up. She'd have been keying his car, all that. She would have been one of those type.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I don't think she would have been able to handle what was possible. And of course, we'll do a deep dive on Andre's character
Mm-hmm.
at one point. But I think, maybe we're wrong about him, but also I don't think she was ready for that. Like even like you see how Danny holds her own with him. Like I just don't see her having that. Like she was so easily romanced by him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see that happening. But she was considering, being in a relationship with him, and she walks in on Andre and Danny and realized like, oh shit, he might have been lying to me about breaking it off with his other girl. And then on the other end of that, you have Derek, who never really wanted to leave Ashley. He was just playing stupid, immature games with Shanice and wanting to see where it goes. And then he realizes, I'm not going to this is not going to work out how I want it to work out. So he starts focusing on this triathlon that
Mm-hmm.
he wants to accomplish. And this is going to be that thing that kind of, makes him feel better about the whole situation. And it doesn't end well.
Nope. It didn't. And I felt so bad for him,
Yeah.
because I mentioned this before, how his heart was broken and shattered, and then he's constantly thinking like, well, she's with the guy that the type of guy, those type of guys always win, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of mentality it was. He was like, I don't care about nothing, I don't give a fuck. And that's why I feel like he went out there and just tried to like drive all over, just go
Yeah.
crazy and go against the rules, the standards, and the regulations.
Yeah.
And the results is he can't walk.
And it's so sad because, there was a moment where he did blame Ashley, and obviously Ashley didn't like purposely hurt him or injure
Mm-hmm.
him in that way. But him trying to get over Ashley is what pushed him to do something that he probably shouldn't have been doing, that he
Right.
was born not to do. But he's that alpha male personality. Like that's very much Derek, where it's like I'm big and strong, I save people,
Like you
I
said, a guy's
can.
guy.
He's a guy's guy. He is going to physically, he's an athlete. He's a fight. That's who he is, and he wanted to feel that way again. And sadly, he gets injured. He's now, right now paralyzed from the waist down. He's probably going to be living in a wheelchair for the near future. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, what does this mean for Ashley and Derek? Ashley just kind of broke it off with Andre officially. What does this mean? Now, I knew that this was going to bring them closer together because Ashley is a nurse, and a nurse it's innate in them. They're going to
Right.
care. They're going to be there. They're going to care for you. She already loves him as a person. So I saw this bringing them closer together, period.
Yeah, me too. Especially because I knew that eventually she would feel guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get like, because I agree with you saying, like, it's not fair for him to blame her, but I also know, like, from a man's standpoint, when you're in love with somebody and it's like a potential of being over, you just don't give a fuck, and you'll just throw yourself out there. So I understood where you come from because, I mean, people will say, like, there's always the debate, like, do men really fall harder? In this case, you kind of see it. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
go out there and put himself in danger because it was just like, if I live, I live. If I don't, I don't. That's exactly the vibes.
Right.
But I knew he would tug at the heart of Ashley because she was never fully like ignoring the way he is. Like, even when she was hanging out with Andre and they was doing a little double date thing, she was still thinking about Derek. It was never like F you,
Yeah.
Derek.
Yeah.
So I knew,
Yeah, that's true because she couldn't stop like looking over at
Mhm.
them. Yeah, I agree. That's why I wish she would have just slept with Andre that one time just to get it out of her system.
Mhm.
And then she could have like moved, like, even if her and Derek ended up getting back together, like at least she like kind of at least got to like experience that. And then because obviously like you were gonna end up with Derek anyway.
I
But
don't know. I don't know. I don't think she would have came back. I don't
oh,
think she would have came back. I think. I
I
mean,
think
look.
Andre would have ended up breaking her heart, and she would have went back to Derek. I think she would have
I,
realized, like, oh shit, what was I thinking?
later, yeah, it would have taken a while because Andre don't seem like he would have gave her some bullshit dick. He would have.
Okay,
He would have pulled out all the stops,
that's true. And
right?
her, oh god, because if he got Danny
That's what I'm
fiending
saying.
over it, and she's like a grown ass woman, like probably at her peak, because women reach their peak sexually like in their late 30s, early 40s, supposedly, and he has her like that. And I imagine this like young, inexperienced girl who's probably only been with Derek. Like, you right, she would have been like hook, line, it took her to, and then she's cheap. Like, I don't even have to really take you on trips. I can just fucking decorate my house
Yo,
in different places, order some food from some delivery from places, and oh, you easy because oh god, he like easy.
he would
Yeah,
have
you're right.
look. He would have, and he would have did. He would, like I said, he would have pulled out all the stops. He's at this point, he know who he is. He's old enough to know. Okay, grade A, grade B, whatever, whatever. Right? Danny, I think Danny be the one directing him in most cases. But
Oh,
I mean, it's mutual. It's mutual. But like you said,
yeah,
Danny, he probably can't get fully going because it's got to be a 50-50 split. In Ashley's case, it's going to be all him. Like, you sit back, I'm about to show you a good time. The way
yeah.
he's going to do her, the way Tomas thought he was doing Cat. So if he did that to Ashley, man,
Yeah,
man,
she would definitely be hooked. She would definitely be hooked for sure. You're right. You're right about that. But now we see that I don't think her and Andre really have as much of a future anymore because she kind of breaks up
Yeah.
with Andre, and Andre is like, oh shit, like, wait, what? You know, Ashley. And then I thought that was when Ashley was going to decide to like kind of work on herself. But then, you know, the injury happened. And then she has another conversation with Andre at the hospital, and she gets that feeling again. Well, Andre, those butterflies of just like, oh, you know, like what if? And again, that's another reason why I wish she would have just nut that shit in the butt already, because then you wouldn't be having these like, oh my god, feelings with him.
Yep.
And then she has this emergency conversation with her mom because she's still stuck. And her mom basically was like, ask yourself these questions. Like, who do you see, you know, wanting to spend every morning having breakfast with? Whose stories do you want to hear over and over again for the rest of your life? Like, these are real questions that you have to ask yourself. And I think, and I thought like, Ashley was going to walk away from that conversation and be like, oh, you know, Andre is more exciting. But she goes to the hospital and gets down on one knee and proposes to Derek.
Trying to fix it. Doing
Like,
exactly what Derek was doing. Now she's
um,
giving a let's fix this proposal. Like, come on now. What is she
yeah,
thinking? She she
yeah.
she she gotta be better than that. She's been going backwards. She's supposed to be growing. She's going backwards.
She really is. She really, really is. And I really just don't think for any of their sakes that this is the right way to go.
And poor Naomi can't really be there for her right now because she's still dealing with the tragedy of her sister being kidnapped and rescued now. But still,
Mm-hmm.
like, so she going to her mother. If she would have went, Naomi would have been like, no.
Girl,
Like,
take some time for yourself.
right.
Sheesh. No, I
Mm,
completely agree. And also another outcome that I thought was going to be different was Derek walking in and eavesdropping on her conversation with Andre, where they basically say like, you know, fate is a crazy thing because
yep.
if I didn't catch you with Danny, we would have probably been a couple right now. And or if Derek didn't get hurt, like would we be a couple right now? So a lot of like what ifs, and I thought Derek was gonna walk away from that conversation kind of hurt, thinking like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know, it was way more serious. Like I was in danger of losing Ashley more than I thought. Like I thought it was gonna be one of those revelations, but he kept pouring it on, like very pathetic, needy. With Derek is very much like that with Ashley, which is like a huge turn off for me because it's almost like, bro, man up.
Yeah. And that was the thing right there. I thought he would do the same thing. I thought he would have been. I just knew. It was like, so that's where you want to be. Actually, I just want you to know I just love you so much, and I just want you to take me back and don't like him, like me. And I'm like,
I don't know. It just seems like really just like pick me energy, and it's very, to me it's a turn off.
mm-hmm.
And I think they both, like I even said in the beginning of the episode, I think Ashley and Derek both have other things that they need to be focusing on, and I don't think it is their relationship. I think it's Derek learning how to live this new life that he has, and Ashley clearly, you know, like I feel like she's having a quarter life crisis right now, where she's just like,
Yeah,
what do I want to do with my life? You know, I want more. I'm searching for more. You need to figure out yourself. And
indeed.
proposing to Andre ain't the move. I'm not Andre, fucking Derek. Is not the move. So I'm very curious to see what is gonna go down with Eric and Eric. I guess that's their couple name. Ashley and Derek's relationship from this point on, because we don't even see Derek give an answer yet.
Right.
So we're
I hope
there.
he
He
say no.
also got a no to his proposal. So, you know, what if he has a petty moment and he's
I
like,
would be happy.
me too.
I would
Me
be
too.
freaking happy, man. That better date Eva.
Same. I mean, oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
who he should have took out on a date, not Shanice. He should have took Eva out.
Yeah. Even would have showed him a nice good old time too. So I would love to cover more characters, more relationship scenarios, more of the plot lines in Beyond the Gates, our favorite show that you can watch every day on CBS. But we want to know from you all, the listeners of Loving Them Gates, who do you want to see us cover? Who do you want to see us talk about? Who do you want to see us do a deep dive on? Because honestly, I can talk about this show all day long. I love it so much. We talk about it every week on the Six Heart Media YouTube channel, so make sure you tune in for that. We want to hear all your thoughts. Follow the Loving Them Gates Facebook page. Let's keep those conversations going, and we will see you all next week.
See y'all.
Peace.